guess this is the official, but this is like a work in progress. So it's always evolving. But it's a PvP guide. So, this is both beginner and advanced tactics to help you out in PvP and to make your life easier multiboxing. Alright, so let's get started. First, number 1, interact with target. Interact with target is insanely important, and it kind of reduces the classes you can choose from. I don't have a list of the classes actually in front of me. I should pull that up. Give me 1 second here. Alright, so the classes that you can pick for PvP in no particular order are any melee except Survival Hunter. So you can do Death Knight, Demon Hunter, Druid, Monk, Paladin, Rogue, Shaman, or Warrior, which it now excludes mages. I'm sorry, Hunters are not on that list. If I said Hunters, Hunters are not on that list. You cannot do Hunters. The interact with target does not work. So no Hunters, no mages, no priests, no warlocks. So a lot of the good range classes are chopped off. And the reason why is because in PvP, there's so many different abilities that are going to cause you to fly away from each other. Be it like a fear, any kind of CC, and a disorient, anything like that. You can also use it as a chase down method. So for example, say my guys, let's say they're facing this way, right? So they're all spread out. They're like, they're facing that way, and they want to attack this target. Obviously, you need to face the target to do that, and that's where interact with target comes into play. I spam that key, and they start running towards that target where they were. It runs towards where the target was. So you continually hit that target. But in a PvP situation, like right here, you at least can face the target. So if my characters are up this way and he's back that way, I can interact with target and then face them and start attacking. So the interact with target method is if you want to chase on the target, just keep spamming the key. But if you want to just face the target, there's actually a hotkey for that. But what I like to do is just hit interact with target and then sidestep. So you see I sidestep, so I stopped running after him. Or interact with target and then sidestep. It doesn't matter which way you go. You can go forward, backward, left, or right. Alright, so that's interact with target. Yeah, interact with target will work on the classes that I said wouldn't work. But they'll stop at 40 yards. And typically most fights are within the 40-yard range. It just becomes a giant a mess, and you won't be as effective at all. Okay, so sidestepping hotkeys. You want to make a hotkey. So if you're leading with your main, and typically in this PvP setup that I'm doing right now is 5 druids. If you're leading with your main, I only want my ults to move around. In Isboxer, let me pull it up for you right now so you can see what it looks like. Isboxer, okay. In Isboxer, I have base hotkeys. Under here, I have strafe left and strafe right, right? Now, let's see, this goes to all. Forward, alternate, yeah. Okay, good. All right, so up, down, left, right on my keys. I can also use Shift, WASD, and that will move my whole team. So if I go back to my team right here, if I go up and down, left, right, it moves the whole team whichever way I'm doing, right? But on that same Isboxer window, I have a second setup here for strafe as an alternate on here instead. And this one, if you look at the key here, it's all without current. The other items are all with current, which means all your characters. All without current means everybody besides the one you're controlling. So if I choose, let's go back to the base here. So if I'm on my main and I switch to this guy right here, and I do it Alt A for strafe left, everybody but my main character, whoever I'm controlling, is not moving but them. This is a very, very useful tool for PvE as well. It's going to take some practice to get used to it, but it ends up turning into muscle memory, and you can do it when you need to. But for PvP purposes, interact with target and sidestep, or backstep, forward step, anything to break your run so you're able to start casting abilities. If you're doing melee and PvP, you're just going to be spamming interact with target nonstop anyways, so I wouldn't worry about it too much on that. Melee is a little bit easier to keep under control. You just have issues then of making sure that you stay within melee range of that person. All right, that is interact with target. Now, next one, if you want to do quite a bit of PvP, you probably want to pick up the Hive Mind mount. I got a guide for that. This guy is eyeing me. with that guy. All right, we got some potential PvP coming. Yep, he's attacking that guy, so we'll attack him back. So you see him interact with targeting here. I'm pushing towards him. Turn on the broadcast. I turned a little bit, so I'm facing him. And then he's trying to run away, so we're just going to chase him down. Actually, this guy's going to attack. Let me get back up there. Let me run a little faster. I'm coming up. Interact with target, sidestep. And there. Interact with target, sidestep. So I'm trying to face him. So now I faced him, and I stopped moving. He's bubbled right now. He's not taking any damage. We'll eventually get him, but we'll go for this guy. So I interact with target there, and then face. Well, eventually we'll get this team, right? There's one. There is two. Maybe. Interact with target, sidestep. Alright, let's get this paladin. Alright. Doing some more advanced tactics here in the meantime. You'll get it in a second. Somebody needs a heal. We'll focus on healing in a second, but you guys can see the PvP in the process, right? It's just casual PvP. It was more of a fair fight, though, it felt like. Oh, this guy decided to res. Spread out macro. Interact with target to face him. He feared. Interact with target again. This guy's flying away. Do we let him fly away? Yep, I guess we do. Okay. Alright, so that was quite a few kills right there. Let's see what that was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. That's not too bad. 5 on 6. Actually, there's a couple of lines. We'll be fair. It was an even fight. Alright. So, back to the guide after you saw a little bit of PvP. Hive Mind Mount, how to use it. I apologize if this is super long. We'll try to just take it in pieces. Hive Mind Mount is super important. As you saw there, it helps you get around quite a bit very easily. A big problem in PvP right now is when you enter combat, follow breaks. Now, you can still be out of combat, but it will still tell you that you're in PvP combat, and that's where the Hive Mind Mount comes into play inside a world PvP. As soon as you pop this bad boy up, target your main character, and hit that interact with target key that I keep talking about. And bam, done. Now, interact with target is actually a button that is in your keybinds. Right here under targeting, it's called interact with target. Boom, that's what you want. You want that as well as another item called hold on, right here, click to move. I believe click to move needs to be turned on. Is that correct, guys? Am I correct on click to move needing to be turned on? Within Isboxer, it'll do this for you when you set it up. I believe when I'm swapping, it turns it off on that character. But within an Isboxer, yeah, Isboxer will automatically turn the click to move on and off for you if you're using Isboxer. So the goal here is with that interact with target button that you have hotkeyed, as you saw on mine, I have it on my mouse key instead. You summon the mount, target your main character, hit interact with target, boom, all your guys jump in. This is how it looks like in a PvP area or anywhere like that. It becomes an interactive thing, like almost like a vendor you can run to. So if my guy's right here and I hit interact with target, they run towards him and jump in. It makes it really easy. You can gather your guys up. Before this, I was actually just summoning the mount, and then I was trying to click it on my other character. So I'd move him over and I'd click him in. It still works, but interact with target is amazing. So that's the Hive Mind mount and how to use it. In BG's Battlegrounds, there is no follow at all. So using a mount like this or any kind of mount is the only way you're able to get around. If you're not 5-boxing, if you're 2 or 3-boxing, you could use hypothetically like a mammoth mount or something to move around if it has 2 extra seats in it. But the Hive Mind mount is kind of coined as the multi-boxing mount. That's the one you're going to want to use. All right. As you saw in that last PvP fight, partially, a really important item, and this mostly works for ranged. If you're melee, it's not going to work out too well. You'll also use this in PvP, but it is the spread out macro. You'll want to use this quite a bit. The one that I use the most, I believe, is called the star as the default macro in Isboxer. Let's see what it's called. Yes, star formation. So let's switch you back over to here. It's called Star Formation, and this is what it does. It moves one character backwards, it moves one character forward, one character left, and one character right. And on your main character, it doesn't move them at all. But the whole purpose of it is to get your team as far away from each other as possible. Now they are eyeing me again. This guy wants some action over here. He's scouting, so we're going to run away. He might even net-o-matic me. But I can show you that on this fight if they attack me. Yeah, he sun-fired me like a nice person. Oh, there's a couple of them. Oh, net-o-matic, here it comes. We're going to go right over here. Let's see if it hits me. Yep, there it is. All right, we'll go for some action. So I spread out right there, see? That was important. So now they can't AoE me. Is he gonna bubble? Is he gonna bubble? No, not yet. But see, I spread out, so they're not able to do AoE damage to me. It's important that there's no AoE damage. Alright, there's one down. Here's this guy, he's already bubbled, he's down. So this guy is a demon hunter. He can't do his eye beam. I'm spread out. What a great example. These guys are just like doing wonders for my my video here. I might be able to take him out eventually, right? This is Druid healing. So let's get him instead. I'm interact with targeting and then I'm running after him. He's going up far away, so we're gonna super speed with Stampeding Roar. Spread out and bam, done. And that's how you take out 4 guys. Yeah, we're gonna go with paid actors for sure. That was way too casual. Okay, let's go to the next spot. Let's move someplace else. Oh, he wants some more, doesn't he? Oh, wait, they're gonna fly away now. All right, I guess they've had enough. I didn't have to do any kind of like defensive cooldowns there, which we're getting to in a little bit. So hopefully they attack me in a little bit, and then I can show you guys what defensive cooldowns look like. But they actually have to start doing damage to me first, and then we'll get to that point. All right, so again, I am using 5 there. I did get attacked by 4, so that was a decent fight, and they instigated it. I try not to attack just like solo players. I mean, it's really not, I don't know, it's not fair, but you know, it's fun when it's an even fight. It makes it interesting. Okay, the spread out macro, we saw that. Star formation is the best one. There's other options besides star. You could use these in PvE as well. Depending on a situation, you may want to use like a line formation, depending on what it is, and that would look like this. Like if you're concerned about range, you pop them out like that. Like if they're really far away and you want to spread them out still, that's always a good option. But the go-to in any situation that I usually use is spread out. And that completely nullifies any kind of AoE damage, because if all your guys are stacked, a warrior or a demon hunter is going to do an insane amount of damage to you very, very fast and just take your team apart, like just chew you up, and you can't do much about it. So get those guys spread out. All right. Again, this is in no particular order. Really important to have. I've started using them the past couple months, and they help out a lot, is healing potions. This bad boy right here. I'm holding it. You can see it. Abyssal healing potion is a current one. I'm sure there's going to be a new one in the next expansion. This actually heals for quite a bit. 174k, right? Let me make sure it's like that on my other characters too. Abyssal. I can spell Abyssal right. Let's see it. Not turn off weapons. Abyssal healing potion. 165k. But my character's got 559k. It's like a 25% heal. I mean, it's a little bit more than that. 30% heal. I mean, it's a really big heal on a decently short cooldown. Druids themselves, or Boomkin, don't get a lot of defensives. So I use this on all my teams basically. It's just an extra piece to keep you alive, especially as an AoE. So I hit it on all my characters. And it helps keep you alive that a little bit that much longer. I highly suggest using them. They're extremely cheap. I just bought like 200 of them in the auction house, which will last you quite a while. So it's 40 a piece if you have 5 characters, and it was like 2k gold. I mean, it was for the survivability you get out of it. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, defensive cooldowns. Defensive cooldowns are important. Obviously, you want to make sure you use them at the right time. Oh, they're a leveling craft. I guess that's why they're so cheap, yeah. But the healing potions themselves, highly suggest it. You also are going to use them also in PvE as well. They're crucial there too. I just keep them on board. But I highly suggest grabbing them, because you're not going to use too many other potions in our kind of setup anyways. You might use the DPS potion, but I would rather save it for something defensive. So there's two big things in multiboxing. One is you want to make sure you can live as long as possible. And number two is you want to make sure you can do enough burst damage. Like sustained damage for multiboxing is okay. You really need to do the burst and then also survive. Yeah, we just had some world PvP. We'll come back for some more. So defensive cooldown. So on druids, they don't have too much, but you want to kind of tie them together. So what I do is to basically minimize how many keys you have to press in PvP. So on druids, I basically combine renewal, which is a 30% heal every minute and a half, with bark skin, which is a minute. So the idea here is they're on the same key. I need to hit one key, and I can have so many other keys, because you have to have so many other keys for healing and DPS and everything else. They're on the same key. So I do a 30% heal, and then at the same time, I do the 20% reduced damage for 12 seconds. So because obviously you're taking damage if you need the heal in the first place, especially in PvP. So you kind of like squeeze things together. Other classes, you kind of have immunities. I usually stick all the immunities together. So if you're running like a hunter with a shaman and a paladin, your immunities would be Guardians of the Kings for the paladin, so you're doing 50% less damage. You're using Astral Shift on the shaman, and the hunters you'd be using like Aspect of the Turtle. So obviously they're not full immunities on the paladin. You may even want to bubble instead, but you're using your largest cooldowns together at the same time. You kind of want to consolidate them so they all pop together. Sometimes, it could be wasted on one or two, but the whole goal is for the team to survive whatever the situation is. And this again transfers for PvE and PvE. But for PvP focused, you want to make sure you're popping as many defensives as possible, because the window for taking them out or taking you out is much quicker than a usual situation. Because when things fall apart for you, they fall apart pretty fast. At least they do for me. Okay, so with the defensive windows, defensive cooldowns, I'm also thinking about burst windows as well. Burst windows are very important, and you need to they kind of tie in with the next topic, which is situational awareness. You need to know when to pop your cooldowns. So on druids, the biggest cooldown at the current moment is let's get the correct name of it here. Celestial Alignment. Now, Celestial Alignment is crazy powerful on a druid because it also combines with other Azurite traits, making them do extremely high DPS for about 15 seconds. This again is going to apply for any class, but you need to make sure that you know if you're going to pop it and use it, that's going to be effective. So if you're in a battleground and you see two enemies and you're playing 5 characters, it's probably not worth popping the cooldown for that. Yeah, you'll take them out, but the next fight you could have could be 6 enemies on your 5, and that's when you really need to start taking out targets very fast. So with the burst windows, that's what makes multiboxing so powerful in the first place, is your focus targeting, and you're focus firing just one target and you're just unloading a lot of damage. So classes that have a lot of sustained damage, if you can't drop targets consistently fast, the other team can start out healing what you're doing in the first place. And it leads you into a war of attrition, and in a multiboxing situation, your chances of winning at that point start to dwindle quite a bit, because they can start effectively doing multiple CC abilities on you while you are not really CCing. You're there trying to do damage and then keep yourself alive in the process. So out of those 3 little windows, you can only maximize 2 of those in any given option. And so that's why burst windows are important, to make sure that you're focus firing and doing as much damage in that window as possible, so then you can move on to the next target. And that is exactly where druids excel in, because they throw up some dots and then they start doing their star surge, and it's very high burst quickly. Also, a lot of the teams we use don't have any type of mortal strike or anything that reduces healing on the other side, which is why sustained damage is not the best for us, just because their healers can start healing. Now, if you obviously have like some kind of rogue warrior with mortal strike, anything that starts reducing the amount of damage they can heal on, then things change. But currently those classes don't mix too well and if you want in the PvP, what we're doing right now. Okay, so just a couple more quick tidbits to hopefully help you out, and then we'll try to find some more PvP here. You want to make sure that you can quickly swap on your team. Make sure those hotkeys are closed. For me, the hotkeys to swap to my main character slot 1 through 5 is F1 through F5. So you can see here I can quickly swap back and forth. Now the reason you want to swap quickly is, let's say, there there's a guy right there. But let's say I'm over here, and then my team's over here. But then this guy just got knocked back. Like he got hit by a typhoon or something, or a shaman knockback or thunderstorm, and boom, he's over here. Okay. So the purpose of that is like you're fighting over here, and you're fighting this guy right here, and obviously you can interact with target and move in on him. And this guy's over here. You want to be able to swap to this guy quickly, and then hit auto run and run him back over here. And then when he gets over here, he's kind of close. You know, just do a sidestep or something. Boom. But he's back in the team. You want to make sure that your team stays together. This guy would like to know if I'm multiboxing. He wants to be saved. Oh my god. I swear this is not a paid actor. Where are we going? He wants to be saved. South. He says south. We're going south. The last topic while we're going to save this guy is to die together. If you start dying and you know it's not a survivable thing, it's probably, and especially this works in Battlegrounds, it's hugely important in Battlegrounds. You don't want to have your characters spread out, because in World PvP, your res spot then is completely messed up. I mean, like, you can only res a couple of them, and you have to move over and res other ones. In Battlegrounds, you could end up being at 2 different graveyards within a battleground, and recovery at that point, especially with follow not working, makes it extremely difficult. So whenever you can, if you've lost 2 or 3 characters, try to just duke it out with the rest of them, make a best effort, but make sure if you can have them die together, or it becomes a massive weakness for recovery on multiboxing. So with that said, let's end this off with finding where this trouble's at, right? And they said the horde was around here somewhere. I don't see any horde. They've been scared off. Oh, did he throw an automatic? No. Oh, there is kind of a horde over here, though. Here we go. Oh, he's attacking. All right, so we're going to do this. Spread out macro. Let's interrupt that first. Let's pop some cooldowns, because this is a burst window, and he's gone. Next guy, let's interrupt him, because Fell Barrage is going to be interrupted. He's gone. And, well, that was only 2 people. So, like I said, shouldn't waste burst cooldowns on 2 people, but it did look kind of cool, right? And we did save the guy that asked for help. And now he's forever thankful of the multiboxing. Not a paid actor, I promise. And that's multiboxing PvP in a nutshell. We'll make one more loop.